either player will waste much time. Rips the finger holes out. Oh, my. A solid strike for Hrsina to open the match. Not intimidated.
Earl's not intimidated by anybody. Hrsina's not intimidated by anyone either.
Something's got to give.
Well, the pins will tell the tale. Earl only 6 strikes in that last game. Evenly divided. Got to keep that speed up on that lane.
I think that's what Earl is thinking to himself right now. The moment he gets a touch soft with that speed, that thing rolls up in a hurry. He's tripped out the 6 a couple of times.
I'll tell you, though, he's smiling more than I saw him smile all the years on the national tour. He is enjoying himself on this senior tour.
A fierce competitor, driven individual for many years to be a perfectionist. Came about as close as anybody.
Oh,
well, when he got it going back in the old days. Whew. He could label the pocket from one end of a house to another, and he does just that. A strike on the left-hand lane, so Hrsina better strap it on because he's in for a game.
Right. Earl, like the great Dick Weber years ago, famous for getting out quick out of the gate and getting that early lead. Gave it to room, and it didn't make it. 2-8 right away.
So lane 40 that had a touch of a hang spot for both Jimmy Certain and Carmen Salvino proves once again that if you get a little wide on that lane, you got some problems.
And again, this we had 3 guys miss this spare about a few weeks ago in Wichita, I think it was, so it's not an easy spare, the 2-8. Well, John says, I've been around for 57 years. I know how to make that spare. John, all the way back at the end of the approach. Very little push away. Definitely a controlled swing all the way through. The shoulders forward, the short backswing, an all-muscle game. But he is so strong, he can make it work.
The last time John was on the telecast, we talked about the fact that in the old days he used to swing the ball all the way over his head, had a huge big backswing, really cut it down, and since that time has performed beautifully. 39 appears to be the easiest lane at the Hall of Fame lanes
for the right-handers. Seems to come finish back harder for him, although I think it's hooking more for Earl. I think 40 rather is hooking more for Earl. Lapse in concentration when spraying against Salvino. Good speed there.
Did it look like he might have moved a little bit right with both the feet and the target? I don't know. We'll take a look next time. That ball did not hook early at all.
There is definitely oil. He can move right and he hits oil.
That's what I'm saying.
And when that happens for a player, that instills confidence.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you know you can tug it a touch and it's not going past the head pin. To increase the lead to 30 if he strikes.
Oh, all identical. Except the first frame, boy.
That was his trademark through the years, too. Once he got lined up, one shot looked just like the next.
He hit the pocket. He got probably tapped more than any other player, too, because he was always in the pocket. Back to the match, though. Hrsina's got a strike here.
This is the hang lane. Plays it a little differently. Goes Brooklyn, and there you see. The problem is the right-hand lane. If you swing it a touch too much, it doesn't get back. If you set it short, it goes through the nose.
Just not the right reaction. You've got to get the right break point on that lane. I mean, Salvino had it there for a few frames. Switches balls here, and he really throws hard and straight at these spares. There's the family looking on, and they're not too happy right at this point. You know, Earl lost, or John lost to Earl in 1988 right on this same pair of lanes.
I'm sure he remembers that.
Tighter match at that time, though.
Nearing the halfway point in this one. He's down by 30. Needs a strike just to hang on to things, and an excellent shot for John Hrsina on lane 39. The burning question now is whether or not Earl Anthony will continue to strike. If he does, He'll have won for the second time here in Canton.
Interesting. You wonder what goes through a player's mind. I wonder why John chose to finish on 40 when he's just labeled it 3 times in a row on 39. He hasn't hit the pocket on 40 yet. This is Earl Salvino, the new act. Higher backswing for good speed. Close to the second arrow. Watch the 4-pin. Second from the left. We'll get a picture of it here. It's in the channel. Bounces against the sideboard, then bounces up again and gets the 7-pin. Oh, wow, what a break.
A little nudge from the nose. Earl appreciative. And he'll take the first 5 and look for more.
Fortunate, only the 2-4-7. Just did not let him make the shot, you know, that he wanted to make. Didn't trust it. Gave it the old tuggeroo.
Yeah, he's talking to himself right now. See, that's classic Earl Anthony. He throws 5 strikes in a row, makes 1 bad shot, and he's saying to himself,
You
can't you
bum."
do anything right? Yeah, that's why he's where he is, I guess. So critical. So accurate.
He had a little trouble with this spare last game. He made it, but not like that. Not easily.
You give him a practice shot, the next time around, you know he's going to just make it textbook style. Well, Urshela with a strike in the 5th. If he is to have any shot, I think, at this championship, better throw 2 more right here.
And again, I still think the play here is to go around the oil. Send it as wide as he can. He's not doing that. He's trying to actually move in and find oil, and he's not going to. 3 times on 40, nothing in the 1-3.
Led this tournament from the 2nd round on. And had to wait for the better part of an hour to find out that it was Earl Anthony, the player he would face. You get a few practice shots and you go shoe it up against a guy who's already had a game on the championship pair.
And maybe the best of all time with a practice game. That's
You know, we mentioned that Mike Sands, the tour press director for the PBA, was moving on to another job after this week. We'd also like to pat Bobby Dinkins on the back, the tour broadcast director, because that's been a tremendous 1-2 punch in the information department. Those gentlemen will have a little time off after a long year thus far.
Earl making it look easy. We haven't had a close match yet tonight, Denny. This is as close as any, and it's 37 pins. And could be 47 if he gets 1 more.
Wouldn't surprise me. We'd also like to thank Jacques Darden, who has lighted the set and the lanes for ESPN. PBA summer tour throughout the whole summer. Getting from one stop to the next, doing a marvelous job there. And of course, you see that scoreboard right there? The lady that's typing in all the numbers, our graphic analyst, the best of all time, perhaps, Betsy Lawrence. Magic fingers is what we call her.
Magic fingers.
Fastest fingers in the West. Earl down on 1 knee, and that normally is a sign of daddy lockup.
Or perfection. And he knew he threw it absolutely perfect. You know, the only thing that's going to stand is a solid 9 or something.
Come on, one time, John. A strike on the right-hand lane. There it is. Better late than never.
Well, it cuts it to 37. He still has a potential score of, what, 240?
Sure.
If Earl would open, it's not over. He's got a strike here on the lane that he struck on every time.
At least this one draws him back into some semblance of having a shot.
Keeps him from shutting the coffin door.
Mm-hmm. Throwing the dirt in his face. Stay there. Figures he makes the shot on the right-hand lane and then crosses himself up on the left hand.
You know, you're just not sharp mentally when that happens. You're just not thinking properly. So it may, all the suspense may be over. Earl Anthony going to be the leading money winner on the senior tour. Definitely in the catbird seat for Senior PBA Player of the Year. Of course, he won the PBA Player of the Year, what, 6 times? Is there anything this guy hasn't won? U.S. Open is about it, huh?
Yeah, he led that one back-to-back by a combined 900 pins or something, losing 2 years in a row. Now, a unique athlete and performer, Earl Anthony, through the years. Highly successful. Of course, we might also take this moment in time to thank the two gentlemen in the truck, our producer George Smith and director Kent Sammel, the tandem in the truck.
Is that the dynamic duo or the...
Oh, let's not go that far.
No, not that far.
No, just kidding. Marvelous producer George Smith, who week in and week out draws up the game plan, and the guy that executes it, Kent Sammel, as I've said before, I think easily the best director in network bowling. No question about that. He's been here for, what, 12 years? He's seen a few strikes and spares.
He's been here since 1979.
Yeah.
I think that is 12 years.
I want to thank those gentlemen for all their work this summer. Of course, I'll be joining those two guys on the ladies' tour here coming up in just a couple of weeks. Kind of hard to believe you and I can be chatting about things while Earl Anthony just kind of going through the motions right now en route to winning the Ebonite PBA Senior Championship, but that's basically the way the story has unfolded.
Yeah, tonight, great a cast as we had. No exciting close matches, all of them walkovers. Earl winning this title for the 2nd time. He's the first player to do that.
See, what I'm excited about doing is sitting up here when Mike Durbin makes a telecast on the senior tour. Oh, is that going to be fun? Oh, you have no idea. If you think the lights are hot, your ears will be burning. Let me publicly say once again, hey, God willing, the creek don't rise. You and I will be back again next year for another PBA Summer Tour on ESPN.
I'm looking forward to it, Denny.
I know you got to put up with me for another year, but Earl Anthony, the winner of the PBA Senior Championship, the Ebonite Championship here in the Hall of Fame City, and does so in rather methodical fashion. 244 is the score. He opened with the first 5. As you mentioned, that's the key, and has been through many years for his success. Get out quickly, put pressure on your opponent, and then see if he can come back.
Well, we talked before the match. Did John have a chance? Well, I guess he didn't. When you're going up against the best that maybe ever was, takes more than 190 or 2-0 to beat him. I know, I lost to him.
Although I'll tell you what, the left-hand lane was a very good lane for John Ursina. And in all fairness to John, the right-hand lane was a struggle for all of the right-handed players. So, you know, we talked about the fact, hey, if you're the only lefty or the only righty on a show and you have a pretty good shot, is it an advantage? Tonight it sure was.
Well, Earl showing his experience. He quit practice after 15 minutes, didn't want to disturb the shot, as Earl gets, both players get a standing ovation here.
Earl, on behalf of Ebonite, yeah, please. On behalf of Ebonite and all of our loyal Ebonite customers, I'd like to present you with this trophy for your 2nd Ebonite Seniors Championship. Congratulations.